My name is Brent Bushnell. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Two Bit Circus. I studied computer science at UCLA, and for me it came at a really important time because I'd been running one of my first companies for a number of years, which was doing early web hosting and web design and email hosting back when that was still really hard. And so I had been working with a lot of the software tools for a long time, but it was all self-taught. By the time I was studying at UCLA, I was really getting the theory behind it all, and so it was awesome because now all of a sudden I was ready to sit at the front of the class because every one of the classes was focusing on some domain that I had already been working in, and so that being able to sort of really sort of underscore that skill set was ridiculously helpful. And not only that, but when you are self-taught, you don't really know the scope of what you're missing. You might be missing something. You don't know sort of how deep the rabbit hole goes. But to have gone through sort of the UCLA curriculum, it really helped to sort of reinforce my confidence and understanding of those domains. So that by the time I was out, being an entrepreneur again and building these companies, and I had sort of the tool set that I need to be able to be a CTO for a long time and then start to really run the companies myself. So I went to the Henry Samueli School of Engineering and Applied Sciences, and it was so fun because in exploring our work with the Carnival and whatnot, ended up getting hooked up with the Samueli Foundation. And I live in Hollywood, right? In LA, like I don't get starstruck by much, but with the prospect of having Henry Samueli come down to our workshop was totally awesome. So he walked in the door and I was like, dude, I got a T-shirt with your name on it, Basically, we're an experiential entertainment company, so a big band of super nerds, right? Real cross-disciplinary, roboticists, electrical engineers, software developers, animators, educators, and we build big games. So rooms full of laser beams, walls of buttons, big stuff that we take to parties and events. We'll do Amazon's holiday party. We've worked with IBM, Intel, Verizon, Autodesk, Disney, DirecTV, Time Warner Cable, Popular Mechanics, LA Times. You name big Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies, and we've probably worked with them. Technology doesn't have to isolate, and it has a tendency to because we get so enveloped in our phone or on email and behind our laptop. But the neat thing is it has just as much capacity to bring us together. You think about out-of-home entertainment, and it hasn't changed in a long time. What was the last big innovation? Laser tag. So we come in with using all the modern technology from computer vision to cheap sensors and turn that into fun social games for people to play. A big focus for us is inspiring kids to be inventors. We recognize that there's not enough kids that are excited about science and engineering, and we're part of a world that demands those skills. And a lot of those huge American-based companies have to import the skills that they need, and it's too bad because America, we've got all of the folks, all the talent and tool set that we need to get kids excited about this. We're just not doing a good job of really capturing their imaginations about what's possible. So we have a whole set of curriculum and tools that we use to get kids excited about what the term we like, STEAM: science, technology, engineering, art, and math. One of the reasons we picked STEAM over STEM was we're really focused on the non-STEM kids, right? The kids that aren't excited about this stuff. If you already like engineering and science, there's tons of cool stuff that you can get engaged in. I mean, to be a 12-year-old with today's technology, there's just crazy awesome things, from Lego Mindstorm to FIRST Robotics and, quadcopters. I mean, just name it, you can have fun with it. But for the non-STEM kids, they might be intimidated about it, right? They might not like math. They might think that it's nerdy or not for them. So we use the STEAM side, right? The art and the sort of fun and creativity as a hook. And so we started with domains we know all kids like: music, fashion, and games, and then sort of built a curriculum and surrounded that with the STEAM side of this, so that they could see the stuff that they like and then see, oh wow, that's engineering over there. That's not so hard. I can do that. But as a way to sort of reveal to them just how fun and easy this stuff can be. Our STEAM Carnival was 100,000 square feet, and it was we set it up for 5 days. Had almost 15,000 people come through. And we split it up into two main areas. There was the big arcade where people could go through and play all the different games and the interactives, and we had little posters that sort of described what skills it took to make each one of those things. This room was really about getting people excited about it, sharing with them what was possible when you start to play with this stuff in really in fun ways. The other room was the laboratory, and this was where we had a lot of hands-on stuff where kids, parents, anybody could get really hands-on, being able to play with a lot of the same stuff. Learn how to game program, learn about basic electronics, learn about fabrication and tool use. And so we had a whole bunch of things that gave them sort of the ability to make their own game, program their own, little interactive, make their own, simple circuits. My co-founder Eric and I have always been obsessed with circus and carnival, both of us. And so the idea of a traveling event, something that's temporary, makes it special. It makes something people are going to go out of their way to be a part of that. And so we really like that as a lens, and it's fun. We're talking about some relatively serious stuff, but in the context of circus and carnival, it gets way more awesome. My favorite part of the carnival is sort of hard to describe because there were so many different things. That whole week is a blur. There were a few things. So the dunk tank flambe. This was super fun. I've been so excited about this since we thought of it. This was basically the regular dunk tank replacing water with fire. And so I'm literally standing there in a full fire suit. Someone throws a ball, hits the target, and I'm enveloped in a 10-foot fireball. I mean, that was crazy. I mean, I haven't had that much adrenaline since I jumped out of an airplane. So that was really fun. There was a moment during the main event where there was a kid learning how to game program, and in the background was this amazing silk dancing happening, and a hula hooper off on the side. So it was like this sort of awesome juxtaposition of two domains that I completely love, and sort of a nice showcase for both sides of those things. So really loved that. We had a ton of different interactive games. I mean, probably 40 or so games. And I have sort of a suite of favorites. Laser Burst is one that I've always loved. This is the thing that was really surprising about this game is it's not a game. It's there's a laser projector projecting circles on the wall, and then a camera that detects when people throw balls that hit the wall. And if the ball you throw gets inside the circle, a little ding goes off, and that circle pops. And so we like to use that kind of technology to get people playing together. So some of our simplest games, a 6-player game table that's just trackballs mounted around a TV or a computer. They're simple games. We write them in a weekend, but that as a platform ends up being a really easy way for people to meet each other at a bar or a restaurant. Now, you come to parties and events in 2s and 4s, but not 6 most of the time. And so this sort of guarantees you're meeting somebody new around the game table. We had a real broad spectrum of demographics there, from local nerds and hackers to parents and their kids, teachers, after-school administrators. So it was a real broad spectrum, and we got amazing feedback from every one of those groups. There was something for everybody, and we had kids who'd never been excited about this stuff. They were saying, "Hey, can we come back next weekend?" And other folks. I mean, we learned through surveying hundreds of people that the average stay was like 5 hours. Like, people were there for a long time, and so that sort of speaks volumes. So we've built a curriculum that we've tested a lot with after-school programs. We're exploring what it would look like to deploy that as part of the school day. Right now, we're working on an entire mentorship curriculum for teachers, basically an accredited course a teacher could take to become sort of a validated STEAM mentor. And over the next couple of years, we're going to really explore what it looks like to get that stuff into the school day. I'm really excited about the future. I mean, of course, I'm an optimist to a fault, but I think that we are at a really special time. I think that as it pertains to education, technology's overpromised and underdelivered for a long time. But now we've got this perfect storm where the technology is easy enough to use. It's at the right price point. The kids expect it. At the same time, all the rest, name an industry where technology is not totally revolutionizing it. And so I think we're going to see a lot of fascinating change in the next 20 years that will really be fun to be a part of. And yeah.